That beat go right, go right, go right, ay, 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 go right, go right, go right. Please don't get left out. I hit that shit so right, go right, go right, ay, 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 ay. You're so cool, you make me cool.
What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we want, girl,
where we sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. I see Glitty's there. Mama's somewhere else, but it's all about the lovely lady in the bottom box today. Honey, when she was 17, she was a legitimate global superstar. Let me just tell you, as a little gay boy, she was the jam, honey. The jam. I love her journey. I love her openness, her authenticity, Grammy-nominated film star. And ladies and gentlemen, she's back. Double singles out right now. Samantha Mumba, what's up, girl?
Hi, what's pussy poppin'? This is my new Yes! That's now my new mantra going into 2021. So thank you, Ariane.
Yes, girl.
Number.
Right? Okay, girl. We just dive right on in because, well, let's just say 2020 has not been pussy poppin'. So, to say the very least, with so much going on in the world, and it's been a very interesting year, we like to focus on the positives. So tell us some positive takeaways that you've had in 2020.
I love that. To be totally honest, I kind of feel like everybody's been forced to look at their lives, reevaluate their lives. But for me, I don't know. I just feel like it's been a good year of putting things into perspective, you know? Because I feel like a lot of the extra material nonsense stuff has kind of been stripped away, and you kind of have to look at, okay, what is the core of me? What is the core of what makes me happy? What is, kind of all of that good stuff. So
I like that. Yeah. It does transcend into I feel like it's life story for you. You were at like a peak, a pinnacle, and then you did things here and there, but 20 years since we had music. And I want to go back to that beginning and that momentum. And now I think you've come back finding what is important to you,
Yeah.
what matters to you and what you care about. So I want to talk about like the biggest and like the first thing you think about when the debut single came out, and it was like 4 in America, #1 in Ireland. It was like you were popping, and it was like a train. You couldn't be stopped. And then it kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that moment of like clarity for you now in retrospect, because I think perspective is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And so at that time, for me, that was crazy. Like, it was madness. I was a child, like, for all intents purposes. I was writing and recording my album. I was 15. So, I literally stopped going to school and started getting flights to Sweden and Norway. And like, it was just all mad, And I was just so grateful. I just couldn't even believe that I had a record deal and was signed. And you never know, how people are going to respond. It was just a mad time. And I was kind of in a bubble, to be totally honest, because there was nothing like this, there was no social media. I didn't have any direct contact with people. So, I'd go into my record label and they'd hand me a bag of fan mail that was written, like there wasn't DMs, and it just was completely different. So for me, I actually think there was a disconnect in a way, because you almost aren't aware of what's going on around you, because I was just working so much and on and off planes and doing interviews. And, it was kind of just, I started not feeling like a robot, but it was just a lot going on,
It's like the world spins in my mind when I think of that, because I'm like, has it? Because gotta tell you, it's 20 years old, June of this year.
It's crazy to me. But it feels like a whole lifetime ago. Like it feels long ago,
Because it's still a bomb.
I do think that one is. Now, some of the other ones are a little bit questionable, but I do feel like that kind of retained its, I feel like that could be, current still.
I agree.
But that's all part of the journey, though, like that's all part of the roller coaster ride that we call life, girl. Like experimenting and seeing like what's popping, what's not popping, like, and kind of finding your groove of stuff. 100%. Okay, girl.
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to spill the tea.
Okay.
Because, there's always, A, B, and C. So one person's side, the other person's side, and the truth. So there has been a lot of talks of why you. What was that?
Oh no, totally agree. Totally agree.
I was like, what was that? I was like, are we on another pause again?
Doing already.
So I want to hear it, and the audience wants to hear from you why there was that time to take a pause from music. You know what I mean? We want to hear it straight from your mouth. So spill that tea, girl.
100%. I mean, to be completely honest, I was signed to Polydor, was my label. And after kind of releasing everything, it was a time, everybody in the music industry at that point will remember this point in time when all of the labels pretty much merged into 2 or 3 labels. So at that point, there were so many changes, and a lot of my core team, a lot of them lost their jobs, a lot of them were moved to other places. So it was kind of just one of those in-between phases. Now at that point, I bought my house in Ireland, and I was grateful for the break, because it was the first time in years where I wasn't living out of a suitcase. I was able to party and turn up with my friends. My house was called Club Mumba, and we had a lot of fun. So,
you pussy popped at Club Mumba, honey.
Well, but so like I was grateful to have that break, and so that was an interim. But then it kind of got to the point where I was signed, so they wouldn't release me from the label to where I could release music, but they wouldn't release music either. So that was kind of just one of those boring, it's no great story. It's just boring. Yeah. I just got stuck in that.
In the machine.
Yeah.
Literally. But it's weird, because I totally get it from the outside looking in, how people would be like, oh my God, what happened? And everything stopped. But the reality for me is that like, I've been living my life this whole time and enjoying my life and doing, adventures and having life experiences, like all the stuff that I needed, because I don't think anybody expected it to go as big as it did or as quickly as it did. So it was really nonstop for like a good 4 or 5 years. So just having that break and that breather to be with my friends, to have relationships, to move to LA then and get settled, and all of that kind of stuff.
Live life.
It was great
for
me. Yeah, it was great for me. It really was.
The end of 2020, you just kind of reemerge, you pop up, and you've given us a banger and a little bit of an introspective track that kind of an ode to your father, an ode to what was 2020. So I want to, cool the process. I want to talk about the two differences between the tracks and why it was important to kind of put them together and bring them out to the world. Like these are your babies.
The beauty of getting to do music this time around is that it's on my terms and it's under my own label. I don't have to answer to people that don't get me, that don't understand, all of that's on. So initially I was kind of wanting to be, I guess, like a little bit of a throwback as well. I was wanting to do a double A side, how they used to do it.
Oh, yes.
And I just felt like, I know it's madness to release 2 different singles 2 weeks apart, but I kind of thought, why not? I felt like if I didn't release the process now, it was never going to be a single. And I just really feel like it does sum up what this year was. So that's more of a very personal thing for me that I really love. I love the video. I love what it stands for.
The visuals with your co-star, the little girl in the bedroom. Yes, girl.
So yeah, it just felt right to me. And I've been recording, full on since 2018. Okay. So I really do have a pretty big catalog of music at this point, which I'm very excited to, be getting there and getting the music out now. But yeah, I just went for it. And
I think that I was like the visual for Cool Now, Honey. Like, is that your, what is that about, honey? Because I was like, where's you've got the inner cheekiness coming out right there.
Well, very much so. Honestly, the message behind that was just expressing yourself, whatever form that takes, however that looks, whatever you feel sexy doing, whatever you feel beautiful doing, there's no rules and I guess I'm just about the no rules at the moment. That's
we live for that, Ari.
Yes.
But just really very much so about empowerment and owning that empowerment, in every, across the whole spectrum. So that was a really fun video. And obviously when we were kind of planning it as well, it was trying to do something that was COVID compliient too. So that was kind of a fun way to get, as many different. Yes, which is very much so, I guess, what 2020
I would know nothing about those kind of websites though, Samantha.
Oh,
nothing about them. God damn, no. My mother watches this show, darling. No.
Your mother may have some secrets.
She might.
We all got our demons, okay? No, but I really do enjoy like everything you said about, now you're playing by your own rules, you're rocking to the beat of your own drum. And I think that that's so empowering, especially in a world right now where everyone's trying to be the next this, the next that. Everyone looks the same, instead of just embracing who they are. Because at the end of the day, no one can do you like you do you. Period. So I want to ask you, for someone who's a young girl or someone who's trying to break out into the business with the expertise you have, the success you have, what advice would you give them, stepping into being like, I guess you can say a writer, producing music? What advice would you give, especially when there's times where everyone is being pulled in so many different ways and saying, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like this, but you're rocking to the beat of your own drum?
Look, I think anybody in the industry, but particularly women, I think if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Mm-hmm. And that's just it. That applies to anything in life. If it just doesn't feel right, when you're pushed but it's not feeling right, then it just isn't right. So I just think that applies to everything. So be it your business. I think the most important thing for women in this industry is get your business right. Make sure you have your own company, have your own LLC, have your own, have different things going on, because that's what it is. And I think so many people, especially young girls, see, the glamorous end effect that's portrayed, and that's the least of it. That's the bare minimum.
So true.
And so just, I think reading, just being knowledgeable, read all the books, learn about the industry, learn about, get a good lawyer. I just think that business side is so overlooked, rather than, get shots, no, focus on, what feels good to you. And I think the business side is the most important, truly, you know, because if that's not right, then nothing is going to be right. And then you're dependent on people and you're dependent on different things. I just feel like that has a way of going skew a little bit.
I think that's very, I think that shows your response shows experience and life lessons. So everybody that's watching this, listen up. Go back through the catalog, honey, because listen up. I want to know then in juxtaposition to career, you balance a lot of things. I mean, you know, you live in LA now. You still have the very strong Irish accent, which I live for, honey, because I'm originally from Australia, so mine's a little bit melted now, but I was like,
but I get it because mine isn't as strong as it will be. It's you know, it's one of those. Yeah.
There. How do you? I think I know the answer, but you know, how do you balance it all? I would know what number one is up there, but how do you, you know, how does it balance all for you so you also achieve, you know, inner satisfaction as all the hats you wear?
Yeah. Look, I mean, my purpose is my daughter. Like that's my purpose. You know, this is a passion. This is my passion project. But she comes before it all. That just is what it is. And so I don't know that I balance it all. You know, I think you try. I go to bed like an exhausted pigeon half the week. You know, I thrive and live on coffee. But it's just trying to do that, you know, and I think that's been the beauty even of this year for me. I love that I kind of have to be at home, you know, because that even when I was initially going to be releasing music last year, and I just couldn't get my head around traveling, being in New York, being in Dublin, London, and I was like, how the hell am I doing this with a child? You know, at that point she would have been 4. So it's the beauty of this, to where I'm getting to now, you know, do my passion. I'm getting to promote it, but I'm still now, as soon as we hang up, you know, able to make her lunch real quick, or, you know, be at home and be here. So it's just trying to find that balance. I don't know. I'm figuring it out, I suppose, like everybody else.
That's the perfect response.
You know?
That is, but we're all trying to figure it out. And what I just appreciate about you so much, which is so different from people who've had success, of how real and authentic you are. Because people try to put on this whole show of like, it happened overnight or this, but you're like, no, business. Like you're breaking it down. I think that's, we need more women like you who are going to keep it real and say like what it really takes to get there. It wasn't just like, oh, it's overnight success. Bye, Felicia.
It just isn't, you know, and if it is truly, and I think that's kind of what weeds people out as well, because if it's a real passion, then you're ready to roll your sleeves up and put the work in. You know, if you just want
emphasis on that work, honey, the work.
Yes, you have to put in work. And you know, if you're not really passionate about it, that's not going to be enough to sustain that, you know. So
it's true.
I love that. I love that. I want to ask one more question. It's actually a fan question. I thought it was really, really lovely. So I want to know, what is Mr. Rick Yagi, because I'm going to give him a shout out because I told him I would. What is one thing you learned while taking a break that you want to bring into this Samantha Mumba new generation?
Ooh, I mean, there's so many things I learned. I mean, just life and living. I think just making it my own. I think over the years, and it's like we even touched on it, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, that's the cool thing, or that's the hot thing, or that's what looks good. It's like kind of just remembering like there's a power in our uniqueness, you know, so I cannot be anybody else, but that's great, you know. No, that means nobody else can be me either. And so I feel like, I don't know, it's just a weird time, you know, where people are starting to look the same and everything's the same, and it's whack to me, to be totally honest. So that's definitely what I'm bringing in. This is who I am. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. I don't think I'm for everybody, and that's okay. You know?
There's a lot of takers though, honey. They ready for you.
No, girl. I feel like, you literally gave me chills, because it's like I was saying, it's so rare to find people who are just truly authentically being themselves. You know what I mean? Like you said, looking the same, everyone's doing the same thing. And it's like, no, what makes you so amazing is being different than anybody else. So I appreciate you saying all these nuggets. I mean, God, I'm so happy we were able to work this out.
I'm so happy that you guys asked. So thank you.
Particularly because of like, for me, like the height of like of what you've achieved, and if you really go back through, it's phenomenal, and you can always have, that's one part of your chapter, and I'm truly so excited to see where this next chapter takes you. And when I'm in LA, we all gotta go for a socially distant little
happy hour. I love a good happy hour.
Or you gotta bring your little lady to meet the little chimpanzee.
No, that would be like, we would both gag.
I got you. Gag, honey, gag. I got you.
Okay, so we know you got to go, girl. But before we wrap it up, we want to do some quick rapid fires. So it's just whatever comes to your mind quick, just real quick, okay? So if you could have dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would they be?
Ooh, okay. Michael Jackson, Cher.
Okay.
And Mariah Carey. I just think that would be so.
Girl, that's some
epic.
divas.
I just think that would be a great dinner.
It would.
Yes.
It would. All right. Craziest thing a fan has ever said to you?
Nothing too crazy, but I did have a fan. He had me sign his arm, and then he got it tattooed on his forearm.
That's rock star. I like that.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Experience, I suppose.
That's dope.
Okay. Netflix and chill, or a little party like a rock star action?
Netflix and chill, but like chill with like, can we like do both? Can we have like some drinks?
She wants some merge.
Yes, merge.
Yeah.
So Netflix and chill with a little bit of wine.
With a lot of wine.
Love it.
I love that. All right, last one. Dream vacation when we can leave the house and get somewhere.
I have so many places I want to go. I really want to go to Tulum. High on the list. Egypt, I really want to go to. Now I want to go meet your monkey friend.
We open up in here in Florida, honey. Just wear your mask. We're good to go.
Yes, love that. So loads, just anything, I think. Just going somewhere.
I agree.
Yes. Okay, girls. So for everyone who is living under a rock and does not know who Miss Samantha is, please let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram, check out your music, the whole 9. Girls, spill the tea.
Yes, please. And that is one thing I can honestly say I'm so behind in doing, the whole social media thing. I'm late to the party. So please come check me out. It's just Samantha Mumba is Instagram, Samantha Mumba 1 on Twitter, because somebody else took my name. So official Samantha Mumba on Facebook, Samantha Mumba YouTube.
She ain't playing, honey.
It's all.
You can find me at Matt Dillon 1983.
Oh, I love it. That means we're born the same year. Yes.
Yes, honey.
Love it.
You guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew, and of course follow Sippin' the Tea at Sippin' the Tea TV Show on Instagram and Sippin' the Tea TV Show 1 on Twitter. And we will catch you guys at the same place, same time on another edition of Sippin' the Tea TV Show.